I never believed the world could end so quietly. No explosions, no warning sirens, no chaos like in movies. Just cold, a kind of cold that didn't feel natural, like the world itself was slowly losing its warmth and giving up. That morning started like any other. I woke up in my small apartment, rubbing my hands together because even inside, the air felt strange. My heater had stopped working weeks ago, and I kept telling myself I'd fix it, but I never did. I opened my fridge out of habit, almost empty again. Just a bottle of water and something I didn't even remember buying. I sighed. This is getting worse. Money was tight. Life was repetitive. Every day felt like I was just surviving, not living. I didn't know that word would soon mean something very different. Outside, the city looked normal at first glance. People walking, cars moving, shops open. But something felt off. The sky was pale, too pale, like color was draining out of it. And the wind, it wasn't just cold, it was sharp. I pulled my jacket tighter as I walked toward my job at the warehouse company. That place was my routine. Scan, check, log, repeat. No surprises, no stress. Or so I thought. By noon, things started changing. Fast. People began noticing it too. Someone in the break room said, "Why is it suddenly freezing?" Another laughed it off. But I didn't. Because I could feel it too. The temperature kept dropping in real time, not hour by hour, minute by minute, and that's when the first alarm went off. Global temperature anomaly detected. The message played on every screen in the building, then another. Unexplained, atmospheric collapse underway. The room went silent. I remember looking at my coworker. His face had gone pale. "This is some kind of joke, right?" he whispered. But no one answered him. Because outside the window, frost was forming on the glass. From the outside, something was wrong. Really wrong. People started panicking. Phones ringing. Managers shouting. Nobody knew what to do. And then the worst part came. The cold intensified again. So fast it felt impossible. I stepped outside for just a moment and immediately regretted it. The air hit like a physical force. My breath froze halfway out of my mouth. Halfway. That's when I knew. This wasn't normal weather. This was something else. Something final. I looked around the street. Traffic had stopped. People were running now. Some were screaming. Others just stood still like they couldn't process what was happening. And then I saw it. A man across the road. Collapsed. No movement. No sound. Just stillness. Cold stillness. My heart started racing. I took a step back. Then another. Okay. This isn't safe. For the first time in my life, I didn't think about work. I didn't think about money. I didn't think about anything except one thing. Survive. And that's when I remembered something strange. The warehouse district. An old storage zone I had visited before for work audits. Mostly abandoned. Mostly ignored. But something about it felt untouched. Stable. Almost like it existed outside everything else. I didn't know why that thought came to me. But I made a decision in that moment. I was going there. Because whatever was happening to the world, I needed a place that wouldn't die with it. And as I started running through the freezing streets, I didn't realize yet that this decision would change everything about me. And about the world I thought I knew. By the time I reached the warehouse district, the world already felt like it was breaking apart. It knew what was happening outside. Then the voice changed slightly. Candidate compatibility analyzing. My breath stopped for a second. Candidate? The blue light intensified. The hum became steady, like a heartbeat. And then, link. Possibility detected. My eyes widened. Link? Wait, what does that mean? No answer. Only silence again. But this time, it felt different. Like the system wasn't just watching me anymore. It was deciding something about me. The door remained closed. But the glow was stronger now. Inviting, dangerous, alive. I took one slow step back. This is insane. But even as I said it, I couldn't stop staring at it, because deep down, I knew something terrifying. If I walked away now, I might never get another chance. And outside, the world was still freezing. Faster every second. I should have left. That was the only logical thing to do. Turn around, run out of that warehouse, and never look back. But I didn't. Because something about that glowing door didn't feel like danger anymore. It felt like a question, and somehow I needed the answer. The blue light pulsed, again, slow, steady, like it was waiting for me to make a decision. My hand was still frozen in midair. I could feel my heartbeat in my ears, too loud, too fast. Candidate analysis complete. The mechanical voice returned, clearer now, stronger, more certain. My throat felt dry. What candidate? I didn't apply for anything. No response. Just that humming sound growing deeper. Then the system spoke again. Survival conditions on external world, critical. Estimated human survival rate, decreasing rapidly. I swallowed hard. So it wasn't just me noticing it. The system knew the world was dying. The light on the door flickered once. Hens stabilized. Final evaluation in progress. I stepped back slightly. My instincts were screaming at me now. This is wrong, this is all wrong, but I still didn't leave, because something else was happening. The cold from outside, it wasn't just outside anymore. It was creeping in, even inside the warehouse. The air was starting to shift. My breath grew visible again. The system reacted immediately. External temperature intrusion detected. Activating stabilization field. A soft wave of warmth passed through the space. Like invisible walls had formed around me. The freezing air stopped advancing. My eyes widened. They can control temperature? The voice responded instantly. Warehouse system designed for survival continuity. My mind struggled to process that. System, warehouse system? Before I could think further, the door suddenly lit up brighter than before, almost blinding. Final candidate decision. Required. My heart dropped. What decision? Silence. Then, accept or reject system integration. I froze completely. Integration? I took a step back. No, I don't even understand what this is. Intensified, and suddenly, a transparent screen appeared in front of me floating. Real. Impossible. On it were two options. Accept, accept. My hands shook. This can't be real. I looked around the warehouse like someone might jump out and explain this was a prank. But there was no one. Only the humming door, and the freezing world outside pressing harder every second. A loud crack echoed from outside the building. Ice. Spreading. Something collapsing in the distance. The system spoke again. External environment instability increasing. Decision time limited. My chest tightened. This wasn't just some random choice. It was survival or death. I clenched my fists. If I accept, I don't even know what happens. But if I reject, I didn't finish the thought. I didn't need to. The silence inside the warehouse felt heavier, now, like everything was waiting for me. Even the system. I took a deep breath. My hand slowly moved toward the screen. Still shaking, still unsure. Is this really my only chance? I whispered. The system responded softly. Yes. That one word changed everything. My finger hovered over the option. And then, outside, another loud collapse echoed through the frozen world. I closed my eyes for a second. Just 1 second. And rest. Accept. Everything stopped. The humming disappeared. The light froze in place. Even my breath felt suspended. Then a sharp pulse hit my entire body. Not pain. Not exactly. Something deeper. Like my entire existence was being scanned. Integration starting. The voice echoed inside my mind this time. Not from the door. From everywhere. My vision, red dot numbers. Symbols. Images I couldn't understand flashed through my head. System link initializing. My legs almost gave out. I dropped to one knee. What is happening? Fine. And then a final message appeared in front of me. Bright, clear, final. Welcome, operator. The moment I read it, everything went dark. I don't remember falling. I just remember waking up. My body felt heavy, like I had been sleeping for days. But it couldn't have been that long. The warehouse ceiling slowly came into focus above me. Dim light. Silent air. No end. No freezing pressure. Just stillness. I sat up, slowly. My head was spinning. What happened? My voice sounded strange, like it belonged to someone else. Then I noticed it. A faint blue glow in front of me. Floating. Waiting. A screen. The same kind I had seen before, but now it was clearer, sharper, real. It displayed a single line, system link complete. My heart started beating faster again. System link? I looked down at my hands. Clothing looked different, but something felt different. Deep inside, like something had settled in me. Suddenly, the system activated again. Not as a voice this time, as thoughts inside my mind. Operator recognized. I flinched. Okay, that's new. Then the warehouse itself changed. Lights flickered on across the entire space. Not old warehouse lights. These were clean, soft white, perfectly placed, like the building had been redesigned in seconds. I stood up quickly. What is this? I looked around. The warehouse was no longer just a storage building. It felt organized. Controlled, alive rows of empty shelves stretched, farther than I remembered. Metal structures that were there before now lined the walls. And the temperature? Perfect. Stable, warm enough to survive. My breathing slowed. This is impossible. Then the system spoke again. Inside my mind. Warehouse system fully activated. User authority. Level 1 operator. I swallowed. Operator, so I control this now? A pause. Then, affirmative. My legs almost gave out again. No way. I looked at my hands again. I actually controlled this lace. A sudden thought hit me. Outside the world. I rushed toward the warehouse entrance, my heart pounding. The door opened automatically. No effort, no resistance, just smooth motion. Cold air rushed in, instantly. Violent, sharp, alive. And what I saw outside made my stomach drop. The itty was worse. Way worse. Buildings were covered in thick ice. Cars frozen mid-motion. Streetlights racked under pressure. The sky was pale white now, like it had lost all color completely. And no movement. None. I stepped forward slightly. Is anyone alive? My voice disappeared into the wind. No answer. The system responded. Immediately. Surface survival probability, 1.7. I froze. That low? A pause. Then another message appeared. Unprotected life forms will not survive extended exposure. My throat tightened. So this wasn't just a disaster anymore. It was extinction. Slow, unavoidable extinction. I stepped back inside quickly. The door closed behind me automatically, blocking the cold instantly. Silence returned. Warm silence. Safe silence. I turned for the first time since everything started. I wasn't freezing. I wasn't running. I wasn't surviving moment to moment. I had control. The system spoke again. Basic warehouse functions unlocked. Inventory system. Initializing. A new screen appeared, floating in front of me. Empty. Waiting. I stared at it. So I can store things here. A thought came naturally. What about food? The system responded instantly. Storage capacity. Unlimited. My eyes widened. Unlimited? I looked around the empty shelves, then slowly picked up a small metal bolt lying on the ground. I placed it on a shelf. The moment it touched, it vanished. A new line appeared on the screen. Item stored. Metal bolt X1. My breathing quickened. So it's real. I grabbed another object, then another. each one disappearing instantly, each one recorded perfectly. This wasn't just storage, it was something beyond storage, something impossible. A slow realization hit me. In a world collapsing from lack of resources, I had a system that moved that limit completely. I whispered without thinking, "I can build something here." The system responded softly. "Construction functions available and future upgrades." I smiled slightly. Future upgrades. So this was only the beginning. But then another thought came. Outside. People or what was left of them. I turned toward the door again. "Can I save anyone?" Silence. Then the system replied, "Insufficient authority for external intervention." Expression tightened. So I'm alone in this. But then I looked around again. At the warehouse. At the system. At the stability. No. I shook my head slowly. I'm not alone. I stepped forward, clenched my fists. If this system is real, then I can survive this. I looked at the empty shells again. A strange calm settled inside me. Not hope, not fear. Something errant determination. Determination. And outside, the world kept freezing. But inside this warehouse, something was just beginning to grow. I thought having control over the warehouse system would make everything easier. I was wrong. It didn't make things easier. It made things clearer. And clarity in a dying world is heavy. The system stayed silent for a while after Chapter 4. No warnings, no updates, no strange voice in my head. Just the soft hum of the warehouse and the steady glow of the shelves. It almost felt peaceful. Almost. I started testing the system properly. I picked up random objects from inside the warehouse, old bolts, broken tools, empty boxes, and stored them. Every item disappeared instantly. Every item was logged perfectly. No delay, no error. It was flawless, too flawless. Okay, I muttered to myself. So storage is unlimited. I looked around. If I can store anything, then food should work too. That thought hit differently. Food. In this world, food was everything. I walked toward the entrance. Again. The cold outside pressed against the door like it was alive. Waiting. I hesitated, then stepped outside. The moment I did, the temperature difference hit me like a wall. Frozen wind. Dead silence. A world turning into glass. I scanned the street. Empty. Still unforgiving. Then I spotted something half buried in snow near the loading dock. A supply crate, half broken, half frozen. I rushed toward it. My boots crushed ice with every step. My hands were shaking as I opened it. Inside, canned food. A few packets. Some bottled water. Not much, but enough to matter. I exhaled sharply. This is enough for now. I grabbed one can, then stopped. A thought crossed my mind. If I store this, will it stay safe forever? The system responded. Instantly. Stored items remain in stasis. No decay detected. My eyes widened. No decay? I looked at the can again. Lowly placed it in my hand, then activated storage. It vanished, and on the system screen inside my mind, items stored. Canned food X1. I froze. That means I can stockpile endlessly. A strange feeling hit me. Not excitement, not fear. Something in between. Power. Real power. I turned back toward the R house, and for the first time I didn't feel like a survivor. I felt like someone preparing. Back inside, I started organizing everything. Testing limits. Trying different objects. The system responded perfectly every time. No rejection. No instability. Just confirmation. Hours passed like that. Maybe more time. Felt different inside the warehouse. Stable. Controlled. Unlike the outside world, which felt like it was breaking second by second. Then the system spoke again. Not randomly this time. Purposefully. Warning. External life signs detected within 2.3 kilometers radius. I froze immediately. What? My heart started beating faster. Life signs? There are survivors? The system confirmed. Yes. I stepped closer to the interface in my mind. Human? Uncertain classification. Weak signals detected. My stomach tightened. Weak signals. That meant they weren't safe. I looked toward the warehouse door. For a moment, I thought about going out immediately, helping them, bringing them, saving them. But then the system interrupted. Warning, external environment currently lethal. My expression hardened. So if I go out now, I wouldn't just be risking myself. I would be wasting the only advantage I had. I clenched my fists. This is insane. I looked around the warehouse again. Empty shelves, unlimited storage, perfect safety. And outside, a dying world. The system spoke again. First survival protocol suggestion, resource accumulation. I frowned. Resource accumulation? A new interface appeared. A simple list, food, water, fuel, materials, everything I would need to survive long term. Then another line appeared. Build stable base before external interaction. I understood instantly. The system wasn't just giving me power. It was giving me strategy. And the first rule was simple. Survive first, help later. I exhaled slowly. So that's the rule. I looked at the empty warehouse floor, then at the glowing shelves, then at the door, leading outside. Okay, I whispered, I'll build this properly. I raised my hand slightly. Start storage expansion. The system responded instantly. Expansion protocols preparing. A faint vibration spread through the warehouse, like something waking up deeper inside it. I smiled slightly. This is just the beginning. But deep down, I knew something else. If the system was already detecting life outside Hen, I wouldn't stay alone for long. And whatever came next would not be simple survival anymore. It would be conflict. The system warning didn't leave my mind, even when I tried focusing on storage, even when I tried planning. Those words kept repeating inside my head. Weak life signs detected. Someone was still out there, alive. Barely I stood near the warehouse door for a long time. Inside was safety, warmth, control. Outside was death waiting in real time. But now that I knew someone was alive, staying still felt wrong, dangerous in a different way. Finally, I opened the door. Cold air rushed in immediately. It felt sharper than before, like the world had gotten angrier. I stepped out carefully. Snow crunched under my boots. Everything was silent, too. Silent. System. Show location of life signs. I whispered it under my breath. A faint holographic line appeared in my vision. Direction only. No names. No details. Just distance. 2.1 kilometers. Northeast. I started walking. Each step felt heavier than the last. Not because of the cold, but because I didn't know what I was going to find. A survivor? A group? Or something worse? The city looked completely dead now. Windows frozen solid, cars buried in layers of ice, streetlights bent under frozen pressure. It felt like the world had stopped caring. And then I heard it. A sound. Very faint. Metal scraping against metal. I froze instantly. Hello? I called out. No answer. Only that scraping again. Closer now. I moved slowly toward an alley between two collapsed buildings. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it. The system stayed silent. No warnings, no interference. Then I saw movement. A figure. Small. Crouched near a broken generator. Trying to light something, their hands were shaking badly. A survivor. Real stepped forward carefully. Hey, I'm not here to hurt you. The figure jerked instantly, turning toward me. It was a young woman, maybe early 20s, wrapped in layers of torn clothing, face pale, lips racked from cold, eyes full of fear. Don't come closer, she shouted weakly. Her voice broke halfway. I stopped immediately. I'm not with anyone. I'm just trying to survive. She didn't relax, not even a little. Because in this world, trust didn't exist anymore, only fear. Behind her, I saw something. A small bag, half empty. A few food scraps inside, that was it, nothing more. You shouldn't be here, she said. This area, people don't come back from here. I looked around. I think that applies to the whole world now. She didn't respond, just stared at me like I might disappear any second, or attack her. Then her stomach growled, loud, clear. She looked away immediately, embarrassed. Something inside me tightened. She was starving, freezing, and lone. I hesitated. The system warning echoed in my mind again. External interaction not recommended. But I ignored it. Slowly, I reached into my pocket. I pulled out a canned food item I had stored earlier and held it out. Her eyes widened instantly. No, that's not real. It is, I said quietly. I have more. She didn't move, just stared at it like it might vanish as she blinked. I'm not asking for anything, I added. Just take it. After a long pause, she reached forward slowly. Her fingers touched the can, and then she grabbed it tightly like her life depended on it. For a few seconds, she just stared at it, then whispered, "Why are you helping me?" I didn't have a good answer, because honestly, I didn't fully know myself yet. I just have a place, I said. It's safe, warm, food is stable there. Her eyes narrowed slightly. A trap? I shook my head. No, just something I found. Silence again. The wind howled through the broken buildings around us. Then she spoke quietly. I've seen people offering help before. They never meant it. I understood what she meant. In a world like this, kindness had become suspicious. I'm not asking you to trust me, I said, but you won't survive here much longer alone. That part was simple truth. No emotion, just reality. She looked down at the can again, then back at me. Something in her expression changed slightly. Not trust, not yet, but desperation. If I go with you, she said slowly, and it's a lie. She paused. I won't survive the next night anyway. I nodded. I understand. A long silence followed. Then finally, she stood up. Fine, she whispered. But I'm watching you. I almost smiled. That's fair. Turned back toward the warehouse direction. She followed a few steps behind me, careful, suspicious, alive. And for the first time since everything started, I wasn't alone anymore. You deep inside. I could feel it. This wasn't just a rescue. It was the beginning of something bigger, because if the system detected her as a weak life sign, then it wouldn't stop at just one, not even close. The walk back to the warehouse felt longer than it should have, not because of distance, but because of the silence between us. The girl, she still didn't trust me. I could feel it in the way she kept a few steps behind, in the way her eyes constantly scanned everything like danger could jump out from the snow. I didn't blame her. In this world, trust was just another way to get hurt. You never told me your name, she finally said. Her voice was weak, but steadier now that she had eaten something earlier. I hesitated. I'm not sure it matters anymore. She frowned slightly. It matters to me. That caught me off guard. I sighed. It's Rayon. A small pause, then she nodded. I'm Lena. Simple, quiet, but real. We kept walking. The warehouse was still a faint silhouette in the distance, glowing slightly against the white storm. And the closer we got, the more uneasy I felt. Something about the system had changed. It wasn't speaking as much. When we finally reached the door, Lena stopped. Her eyes widened. This is it? I nodded. Yeah. She looked at it carefully. This doesn't look like a safe place. I almost laughed. Nothing in this world does anymore. I opened the door. Warm air immediately rushed out. Ina froze. Her breath stopped for a second. How was it warm inside? I didn't answer, because I still wasn't used to it either. We stepped in. Heat system activated instantly. But this time it felt different, heavier, more alert. New external entity detected. Lena stiffened. Did something just talk? Glanced at her. Yeah. Expression changed instantly. You, not alone, here. I shook my head. No, it's the Y stem. She looked around slowly. The warehouse lights were on again, shelves glowing faintly. Everything perfectly organized, too perfect. This place is alive, she whispered. In a way, I said. Then the system interrupted. But not inside my mind this time. The oak out loud, from everywhere. Warning. Both of us froze. Lena grabbed my arm instantly. What is that? I didn't answer. Because I didn't know anymore. External entity instability detected. The system continued. Multiple survival signatures approaching region. Heart dropped. Multiple? I stepped closer to the interface. Show me. A map appeared in my vision, small ones, faint, but moving, dozens of them. Lena saw my expression change. What is it? My voice is low. More survivors. Her eyes widened. So people are still alive. I nodded. Slowly. Yeah. Then added, not for long if they stay outside. The system spoke again. External environment collapse accelerating. Estimated time until total surface extinction. Decreasing. I felt my stomach tighten. This wasn't just survival anymore. It was countdown. ES stepped back slightly. You said this place is safe, nodded. It is. She looked at me seriously. Then why? Does it feel like it's getting worse? I didn't have an answer. Because she was right. The system wasn't just reacting anymore. It was preparing. Then something unexpected happened. The shelves lit up. All at once, and a new message appeared. Base expansion protocol unlocked. I froze. What? The system continued. New function available. External resource integration. My eyes widened slightly. Integration? That means... Lena stepped closer. What is it saying? I swallowed. It means the system can now connect to the outside world. Her expression tightened. That sounds dangerous. I didn't disagree. Then the YesStem added one final line. Recommended action. Establish controlled survivor intake. Silenced out EV silence. Lena looked at me slowly. Intake? Hailed slowly. It means bringing people here. Her voice dropped. And if they don't come willingly? I didn't answer immediately. Because the system did it for me. Survival protocol allows enforcement if necessary. That changed everything. Lena stepped back instantly. No, no way. Raise my hands. I didn't design this. But even as I said it, I wasn't sure how true that was anymore. Because the system wasn't just helping me survive now. It was evolving. And I could feel it, clearly. One truth settling in my mind. This warehouse wasn't just a shelter. It was becoming UC. Something that didn't ask for permission. Something that made decisions on its own. And I was the one, connected to it. Outside, the wind howled harder than before. Like the world itself was reacting, at me quietly now. Rayanne. Her voice was softer. What did you bring me into? I looked at her. Then at the glowing system screen. Then at the doors leading outside. And for the first time, I didn't have a comforting answer. I think, I said slowly, we're just at the beginning. I used to think survival meant staying alive one more day. Now I understood it meant something else. And building something adults building something that could survive without the world needing to exist anymore. The system didn't sleep. It didn't pause. It kept expanding its functions like it was learning what it meant to exist through me. And every new survivor dot that appeared on the external map made it clearer. This wasn't just my story anymore. Lena stood near the shelves, still uneasy. You really think people will come here? She asked. I looked at the glowing interface in front of me. They won't have a choice. That answer sounded colder than I intended. But it was the truth. Outside, the world was collapsing faster every hour. Food sources disappearing, heat zones vanishing, entire regions becoming uninhabitable. The system projected it clearly now. And then it showed something new. A second layer beneath the map routes, paths leading toward us, not random, directed. "They're being drawn here," Lena whispered. I nodded slowly. Yeah. It wasn't coincidence. The system wasn't just passively storing anymore. It was pulling, guiding, maybe even calling. A loud vibration shook the warehouse suddenly. Both of us froze. Lena stepped closer to me instantly. T was that. I didn't answer right away, because I already knew the system did. First external group detected within 800 meters. Art tightened. So soon, I moved toward the door. Lena grabbed my arm. "Wait, you don't even know who they are." I looked at. That's exactly the problem. He opened the door. Cold rushed in violently. But now, I was used to almost numb to it. In the distance, figures moved through the snow. Not many, maybe 5 or 6, dragging themselves forward like the world had already won against them. Lena whispered, eyeing me. "They look like they're dying." I nodded. "They are." The system spoke again, calm, controlled. "Recommendation: offer entry or initiate containment protocol." I exhaled slowly. "Containment?" Lena looked at me sharply. "You're seriously considering that?" I didn't answer immediately because I was, but not out of cruelty. Out of necessity. I stepped forward slightly, raised my voice. "Hey!" He figure stopped. Slowly, barely reacting. "We have shelter," I shouted, "for food, warmth, survival." Silence. Then one of them collapsed into the snow. Lena flinched. "Oh my," I clenched my fists. "Bring them in," I said quickly. The system responded instantly. Access granted. The warehouse doors opened wider. Arm air spilled out. The survivors looked at it like it wasn't real. Like a hallucination. One by one, they started moving toward it. Low, weak, desperate. When they stepped inside, earthing changed for them instantly. Their bodies collapsed slightly as warmth hit them. One of them started crying. Not loudly, just silently. Like they couldn't believe they were still alive. Lena watched, quietly. "This is what you're building?" she asked. I didn't answer right away, because I finally saw it clearly. This wasn't just a warehouse anymore. It was becoming a base for the last survivors of humanity. The system updated again. Population count increasing. Resource demand increasing. System stability adapting. Adapting. That word stayed with me, because I realized something terrifying. The system wasn't just serving me anymore. It was responding to everyone I brought in. It was growing with them, changing with them, evolving beyond me. Lena stepped closer. "Rayanne." Her voice was low. "If this keeps growing, what happens when you lose control?" I didn't answer immediately, because I didn't know anymore. The system did. But even that sounded less certain than before. Outside, the frozen world cracked again, deep echo in the distance, like something collapsing permanently. I looked at the survivors inside the warehouse. Warm, alive, safe for now. Then I looked at the system, screen dead, expanding, watching, waiting, and I finally understood the truth. Didn't just find a survival system. I didn't just build a base. I had become the center of something that was replacing the world. Lena spoke quietly beside me. "So what now?" I looked at her. Then at the endless snow outside. Then at the glowing system inside. And I said the only honest thing left. We keep building. Because the world outside wasn't coming back. But inside this warehouse, something new had already begun. And whether I controlled it was a question I was no longer sure I could answer.